Hey students, welcome to week 2 of accounting principles. I hope and pray your week is going well. As we get started, be sure to watch this week's devotional. The motivating factor for me to teach in higher ed courses, especially in Christian universities around our country, is the ability to freely talk about Jesus Christ. So as you go through this course, I hope you come to know me as a believer who cares about you, and I want you to know that Christ loves you and made you for a purpose. We live in a world that so desperately needs Jesus' love. I hope these devotionals that I put out each week call you on to share God's love with others as well as bring some encouragement to you. All right, let's talk about what's coming up for this week. This week, we're learning about the generally accepted accounting principles, otherwise known as GAAP. We are also learning about the users of accounting information and their goals and their expectations. And we're learning about ethics and financial reporting. Ethics is going to be a constant theme all the way throughout this course and in Accounting 222 if you go on to take that. This is a reminder of the concepts, the words and the languages of accounting that I mentioned last week. They're just part of a normal course of business when you're talking numbers that we need to remember. This is the same list again as last week, but I want you to starting to immerse yourself in these words and to understand them. And like I said a moment ago, GAAP is one of the topics that we're studying this week. Think of GAAP as kind of like the handrails that we all must live by when we're handling accounting and financial information. Think of it as the rule book for accounting. Now, besides the businesses that generate the accounting data, there are other organizations that use GAAP, and these organizations actually produce the rules that are in GAAP. The Financial Accounting Standards Board, for example, or the International Accounting Standards Board. And I might also add the IRS and the SEC. They're very much a part of using GAAP and having some influence on it. So I don't want you to be caught violating GAAP. It could not go very, very well for you. GAAP is a living document, though, meaning it changes as the world around us changes. Unlike a mathematical principle, GAAP flexes as the needs of accounting change to keep up with the changing times in our world. Think about management of new items like Bitcoin or non-fungible tokens, those are NFTs. Eventually, rules governing these sorts of transactions and valuations and those types of assets are going to find their way into GAAP. Now, GAAP is built to help standardize accounting information for users who need to make some decisions. The various users include, management investors, creditors, people who have a financial interest in your company or in the company that you work with, as well as governing authorities like the IRS and the unions and whatnot. Be sure to know the various users of accounting information. Now, this slide represents a very simple framework about how the characteristics of business goals and business activities work together. You can see that profitability and liquidity is how much cash you have on hand, are common goals of any and all businesses. And these activities over here of financing, investing, and operating all interact with the business goals. They all work very well together like in a system. So make sure you understand that and read about that in chapter 1. And then finally, in this last slide, make sure you read up on ethics as defined in our course. And I would encourage you also, though, to embrace a biblical view of ethics too. The Bible has much to say about ethics, and I've listed just a few verses here to get you thinking in that direction. All right, listen, that's it for now. Make sure you're paying attention to what to do this week, and be sure to contact me if you need me. And again, I want to remind you that God is on his throne. He's always been there, and he's always going to be. Have a great week.